Before we tell you what took us back in time, or as Trisha put, maybe a flash forward, it's important that you know that Trisha and I are married and we have a 15, almost 16-year-old daughter. She'll be 16 in less than a month. The end of this month, she'll be 16. And she's a sophomore in high school. And her human growth and development class has a project for the kids that involved bringing home a robot baby for the weekend.
Baby.
And here's how it works. So they put a wristband on the kid that's got a little sensor of some kind on it. And when the baby cries or baby fusses or whatever, you got to put that your wrist on the baby to check in to make sure you're taking care of the baby. But you got to take care of the baby. What do babies do? They cry.
Yeah. It is an actual human-sized baby, like a newborn-sized baby. It looks like a doll. And it comes home in a car seat, a carrier. And when it cries, she has 2 minutes to respond to the cries by clicking that sensor on her wristband. If she doesn't, she gets points taken off. She has to do all the things. It's 24/7. It could cry at any moment. She was so excited to do this, and I tried so hard all school year to talk her out of doing it. And she just refused because I think she was interested in the novelty of it.
Yeah.
And she brought it home on Friday, and we went out to dinner.
Yeah.
We took her and her friend and the baby out to dinner with us. And it went through the whole meal without crying. We were wondering if we'd be able to hear it. Oh, yeah, there was no doubt. When that baby cries, you can hear it. The whole restaurant's walking by looking at us like we're crazy.
Yeah.
We kept saying, it's a high school project. Yeah. It's a school project. 2 different ladies were like, we did that in high school, but ours were flour bags. Yeah. Bags of flour.
Right.
Very funny.
Technology has changed.
So all year long, she's been looking forward to doing this. She brought it home at 5 o'clock on Friday. And by 8:30, she hated the baby. I was like, you got a long way to go.
Yeah. The baby cried at 1:45
in the morning, was awake for about 20 minutes. Her having to, you have to figure out what it wants. Is it hungry? There's a little bottle with a sensor on the tip. You hold it up and then it makes eating noises and you have to feed it until it's done eating. Yeah. Or it could be, diaper need to be changed. There's a sensor in the diaper, or it could be that it needs to be burped. You have to hit it on the back. At one point, she was burping it, and I could hear it across the house. And I was like, "You're hitting that baby too hard. You're gonna kill the baby."
Yeah, and the baby left this morning.
Yeah, the baby deactivated baby. Last night. Bye, baby.
Yeah, bye, baby.
I told Sandy this could be a look into our futures, and you pointed out. You're like, this could be the best possible birth control ever for her.
Oh, I think it is. Perhaps. I think it's the best possible birth control for anybody. Oh, adult or child.
Yeah. And when I would be in my room and that baby would start crying in her room, I had that same reaction.
Yeah.
Oh, God, the baby's crying. It's just instinctual in your brain, I guess.
You were good at that you didn't just take over.
I did not have anything to do with that baby. I had to plug the baby in twice. She's like, can you at least plug the baby in for me?
Yeah.
I was like,
I can do that. A little worried
that
our daughter kept calling it.
Yeah. And when it would start crying, she'd yell, no.
Yeah.
It's like, P.S., that does not work.
Yeah.
I tried that with you.
And I wonder if she had that feeling going to sleep the baby's going to cry tonight.
Well,
I'm going to get woken up.
Yesterday morning, I, of course, got up before she did. And I walk into her room and the baby's in the carrier right next to her bed. And I walk over and I say something to her and she's like, don't touch the baby. Yeah. Don't knock it. I think don't wake up the baby.
Right.
I was like, oh, it's so real.
Yeah,
it is so real for her right now.
Yeah, she could not wait for the baby to shut her down.
Oh, jeez.
I feel like telling her, that's how we feel at night when you don't go to bed.
That's why when she wouldn't go to bed as a baby, I had a very scheduled routine for her. I kind of was angered and a little bit this is not fair. Right. It's time for you to be asleep now.
Right.
Yeah, that's how she felt.
Well, bye-bye, baby.
Bye-bye, baby. Don't come back, baby.
Stay with us. More coming up. Hey, it's the Sandy Show. Sandy and Trisha on Austin's 80s station, 103.1. Trisha says a bomb plot was foiled. It's a big deal, huh?
Oh, this is a huge deal.
All right, we'll get to it in just a second. And the story we love. By the way, 15% of parents admit that one of their kids' grandparents dislikes the child's name.
Oh,
the names that grandparents hated the most might surprise you. Jack, Lindsay, Elijah, and Aurora.
Aurora, which I would hate it because I can't say it. It's like the girl version of Rory, and I can't say that.
And rural.
In rural.
I can't say that either.
From the Lester Holt studio, it's Trisha. Delicious. Trisha, oh, so delicious.
So, police thwarted a bomb attack planned for Lady Gaga's historic free concert that happened in Rio de Janeiro on Saturday. 2.1 million people attended, and the local police were able to foil the plot because it was a group on social media trying to radicalize teenagers with hate speech and encouraging them to bring Molotov cocktails and homemade bombs to the concert and be in different locations around the venue and all throw their bombs at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow. Who's behind this?
They were recruiting. Well, they say that the people who were recruiting them identified themselves as members of Gaga's global fan base known as the Little Monsters. I don't know how this is somehow in support of her, but they were recruiting people and all minors to carry out coordinated attacks during the concert. Again, 2.1 million people were estimated to be there. It was a free concert to try and revitalize Rio de Janeiro's economy, bring people back to the city. Was going to bring in nearly like $100 million was the estimate.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I'm just saying, can you imagine how horrible it would have been had that happened?
Right. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you're going to do free concerts, don't have one of the biggest performers in the world there. They draw 2 million people.
Well, that's why it was drawing 2 million people, because she is one of the biggest performers.
I know, but I don't think having 2 million people in the same spot is a good idea for anything.
Yeah, in this day and age, unfortunately, it's something definitely that would pop into my mind.
By the way, you want to know what the world record for the largest free concert is?
What?
It happened in 1994 at the Cabana, which I think that's where this was, right?
That's where this was.
New Year's Eve brought in a show by Rod Stewart, brought in 3.5 million people.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. They had 3,300 military people there, 1,500 police officers, and 400 firefighters for that.
That's crazy. Here's what I'm going to say. These are the times when you thank God for like cyber teams and people who are constantly behind the scenes working and keeping an eye on things, but then they don't ever get credit until something actually happens or in this case doesn't happen. But it was the ministry's cyber operations lab who got a tip off from Rio State Police Intelligence, who found digital cells with coded language and extremist symbolism. I mean, they were all up in it.
And it's interesting because I read this book about how they caught Osama bin Laden, and really they're just taking little tiny pieces of evidence and stringing it all together.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be good at that.
Oh, code breakers and people who just notice stuff. Right?
They're paying attention.
Yeah, that just could have been horrible.
That would have been bad. That is the story we love. Rise and shine tomorrow with the JB and Sandy hour from 7 until 8 o'clock. But if you're going to sleep in, no problem. Just search JB and Sandy on the iHeartRadio app to listen later. It's Austin's 80 station, 103.1. Saturday evening, it was the fastest 2 minutes in sports.
Nose to nose, down to the last 16th of a mile. Sovereignty has taken the lead. Journalism is second toward the inside. Baez is third, but it will be Sovereignty to rule the Kentucky Derby. Journalism and Baez over next.
Sovereignty wins the Kentucky Derby on Saturday.
Oh, such a good race.
It was. I love when two horses lock up like that coming down the home stretch.
Yep.
And I mean, Sovereignty just ran away from journalism.
At the last minute, yeah. But I was like, oh my God, journalism might win. And we just were talking about how the favorite hasn't won since 2018.
Yeah.
But what I thought was funny is that it was raining, the track was wet. So every one of the horses were the exact same color when they finally crossed the line because they were all covered in mud.
Yeah, because oftentimes you just use the color of the jockey's silks to know who's who. But boy, has TV coverage gotten so much better on the Kentucky Derby. Mm-hmm. It used to be that one long shot that you got from the finish line shooting across the the infield to see him run it. Now they've got drones and they've got cables and they've got all
And
kinds
they put their
of stuff.
names on the banners with the arrow pointing at your horse in real time.
And we did not watch it together, which breaks a tradition in our family. We've always watched the Derby together, but Trisha was out with her friends. I was out doing something else. And man, my friends were all over me starting Saturday morning. I probably had 5 or 6 different people texting me, asking me who I was picking in the Derby.
Why didn't you pick anybody?
I just didn't sit down and read the form. I didn't study it at all. I don't know why. Maybe it's fallen down on my list of priorities to study the horses, but I just didn't. Can't say I didn't have time, but I mean, people were just like all over. I just responded to them all the same. I was like, I didn't study, and any pick I would give you would be nothing more than a guess.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorites, Citizen Bull, he was out in the front practically the whole time. And I was like, there's no way he's going to win.
Yeah.
I was all excited, though. I was at a Mexican food restaurant with my girls watching it. And we stopped and we're looking. They didn't have the volume up, which is hard to watch when you can't hear who they're yelling is out front.
Right.
And all the horses are the same color because of the track. But it's still so fun to watch.
By the way, your buddy Mike Tirico was under the weather.
So he was there talking about it the day before.
But he got sick, I guess.
Oh, my God. I hope he's all right.
And they had to cover for him, and they mentioned him at the end of the broadcast. They were like, hey, just want to wish Mike well. He's been under the weather. You were missed at the Kentucky Derby. But I need to talk to my sister. She went.
Yeah.
She went to the race, sent me some pictures and stuff. And I did like the video on social media of James Hetfield from Metallica.
Yeah.
Meeting the horse.
With Sandman.
That's named Sandman. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What a beautiful horse.
Gorgeous horse. That horse is amazing. Like I said, I followed the Kentucky Derby on Instagram, and they were showing all of the horses in the race as they arrived all week. They showed Metallica go and get a picture with Sandman. The coolest thing they did all week long is they put a camera on the jockey and they'd say, let's take a ride with Sandman today.
Yeah.
And you have the view of what the jockey sees on the track riding the horse.
Very cool.
Very cool.
So now we've got 2 weeks off, and I believe the Preakness is next.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It is pretty soon.
And they haven't said, I haven't seen whether or not the winner from Saturday, I already forgot the name. Sovereignty is going to run.
You know, the only reason Baeza was in was because Rodriguez scratched. That's the only reason that horse got in, and they got third.
Yeah. Hey,
yeah.
Good for it.
Great.
Always fun. There you go. Kentucky Derby. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is The Sandy Show on Austin's 80s station, 103.1. Rapid fire Q&A coming up in just a second. I got 3 questions for Trisha. But before we get to that, for those of you who like to bet on really random stuff, you can bet on who the next pope is going to be.
Oh, stop.
And the odds-on favorite right now is Cardinal Pietro Parolin from Italy. Odds ranging from plus 150 to plus 330. Meaning for the 150, if you bet $100, you'd get paid back 150.
I feel like that's like tainted money, cursed money.
Yeah, he has been the Vatican's Secretary of State since 2013. He's favored due to his extensive diplomatic experiences, close alignment with Pope Francis's moderate policies, and strong presence within the Roman Curia, which I do not know what that is. So, anyway, if you're betting on the Pope, bet on Pietro Parolin, and I'm sorry if I got that last name incorrect, but I won't be placing a wager.
I will not be betting on that either.
I won't do that. All right, rapid fire Q&A, Trisha. How would you classify your handwriting? Is it print? Is it cursive? What is it?
It's cursive. What do you mean, is it print or is it cursive? It's cursive.
Really?
Yeah. It's not print. Print's when you write out the alphabetic letters.
It looks like a combination of messy both.
It is not.
Trisha has the worst handwriting you've ever seen in your life.
You have terrible handwriting.
It's terrible. Trisha, of all the royal family, who is your least favorite and why?
Oh, that's weird. Of like the big ones. So Andrew, Charles's brother Andrew, the guy who was all the prince that was tied up in the Epstein case.
Yeah.
And he can no longer, he like just mooches off of the taxpayers and the monarchy. He lives in this huge estate that Charles has been trying to kick him out of because it's funded by taxpayers and it's expensive for the upkeep. And he does nothing to contribute to it, and he won't leave.
He's a squatter.
He's a squatter, and he's just gross.
He's just gross. So even Harry, you like Harry more than
So
him.
Harry's intriguing. I'm not saying I'm just saying I'm interested in Harry because of all the ridiculousness. He just did another interview slamming his family and making it sound like they're just not talking to me.
80% of the British public view Prince Andrew negatively.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're right there with him. Boy, you really know your royals, don't you?
I know, I do. I don't know why.
Finally, Trisha, if you had to perform in a talent show, what would you do?
I have talked about this a couple times because our daughter, who's 15, she's over her school career, been in talent shows, and she's asked me, Mom, what would you do in a talent show? The only thing, it's so sad and it's so boring, but my talent, Sandy, would be organization.
But you can't do that in a talent show.
I can. I'd have to set up like a super messy room and be able to like tidy it up like in a ridiculously short period of time. That's my talent. What else am I going to do? I can't dance.
That's really a skill.
I could
not a
two-step with
talent.
somebody. I could do that. I can't freestyle dance. I can't sing. I can't do flips. You know what I mean? I don't know any magic.
Did you watch Benson Boone Saturday night on Saturday Night
Yes,
Live?
and did you see how he started off his performance?
No.
With the backflip. Like the girl's standing there introducing him and he's standing up on something, I think a piano behind her. And she says, and here's tonight, Benson Boone. And he flips and then sings a song. And I was like, you gotta let the flip go, Benson Boone.
It's his thing.
You gotta let the flip go. But the song he sang, I love that song.
I mean, that would be like having Prince not wear purple. You can't do that.
No,
it's his thing.
Because Prince was able to change up the purple. And it was something different and new. It was purple, but it was in different, unique ways. This is just a plain old basic B backflip. You know what I mean?
All right. Stay with us. More coming up on Austin's 80s station, 103.1